You are listening to the Mohua show where it's all about celebrating the Junoon among changemakers and their journey.
The Hindi film industry, it's mostly acquired by upper class people, and they don't even have the oblivion that
Yeah.
oh, this doesn't exist anymore. They would say, no, this was meant for the production team or for the actors. That's a toilet that somebody wants to use, and you're not letting them use it. Why? Because oh, ये गंदा करके चले जाते हैं. Like the hygiene standards remain with the upper caste and upper class people.
I think this whole good girl syndrome of not being able to disappoint people is ingrained in us as
Yeah,
women. I keep getting
yeah,
it, Tanushree. Oh my God, you're a strong woman. Come on, be resilient. I mean,
yeah,
hello, I don't want to be resilient. I want to be soft.
yeah.
Don't force this
Yes,
on me.
I'm sorry. Why is there an expectation of being like, just be kind, just be polite, you are a woman? And I am sick of it.
Behind the camera, behind the scenes, what it's really like being a woman in the film industry today. Nepotism has been a hot topic in the industry, and it leaves all of us thinking, what is it all about? And we need to talk to talented actors. How do they feel in this industry? What does it take to be an artist in a world that doesn't always value creativity? What happens when art is no longer just a reflection of society, but a force to shift it? So, welcome in today's episode. I'm extremely excited to have with me Tanushree Das, an actor, theatre maker, and social advocate who blends art and activism in the most powerful ways. From tackling socio-political issues through theatre to empowering young voices in marginalized communities, Tanushree has dedicated her career to using creativity as a catalyst for change. In today's conversation, we will dive deep into how theatre and performance can not only transform individuals, but also entire communities. We'll explore the challenges of navigating gender expectations, the fight to redefine the heroine, and what it truly takes to break barriers and make space for authentic voices. So, this episode is filled with thought provoking insights on art, activism, and the battle for space in both creative and professional spheres. So, welcome, Tanushree. It's really an honor to have you here with me. I have been dying to talk to you after I saw you as Chunki Ghosh and seen some more of your work. Thank you for taking out the time today.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you and talking to you. Yeah, I'm really honored.
So, behind and in front of the camera, I mean, you've been on both sides of the lens. How was, working as an actor, casting assistant, and AD shape you on how now you approach storytelling?
Oh yeah, it's been a blend of experiences. When I started in Bombay, I was clueless because I don't have a film background. I didn't know how to go about things. That's when I joined casting on my K role, and I was assisting Kavish Sinha. I was so excited to work with him, and I think that's where I learned most about the industry and how how to approach storytelling, how to approach a character. Also, just helping people audition, supporting them in the audition process, directing them, knowing the stories. That was my first learning ground in terms of just acting in front of the camera, or how the film industry works, like Hindi film industry works. And then I just wanted to not just be an actor, I wanted to understand storytelling in its entirety. So I was very keen on taking any roles, honestly, whether it was like as an assistant director, as a writer, as a theater maker, educator. I found every opportunity to just keep learning. Um, yeah, it's been a great journey, and sharing spaces with different kinds of people with different ideas, different approach to creativity, narration, and storytelling. It's a vast space, and I am truly blessed, and I bless my luck or bless my support system, who are my friends. Honestly, I don't know what would have I done without them. Which I feel is absolutely necessary when you are in the creative industry, actually having honest friends. Yeah, just understanding perspective from different people in different spaces has been like an incredible experience. It's not about, okay, this is right, this is wrong. It's about just how differently you can approach it, and just not putting it into one box, or because this is how I have seen cinema, this is what my favorite directors have done in the past, like, oh, this is how they use the camera lens, or this is how they use the characters, but like just play with it. It's like, but yeah, it is a lot of planning and a lot of process which goes into which the viewers do not know. It's like a full-fledged, like it's so hectic to just be in that space as well, to deliver like great performances, great cinema, or like a documentary film. Like it takes a lot of effort, lot of research, lot of planning, so that it could be delivered well and people can acquire that information or have an experience of like that story. So yeah, it's been an incredible experience. Yes,
I'm
I'm really blessed.
sure. I'm sure it's been
Yeah,
incredible. I mean, it comes through, when I see
yeah,
what you do and what you've been doing. So, being on set can be a mirror, to the larger society, often reflecting unspoken hierarchies of caste, class, and access. So, have you
yeah.
encountered moments, where all these dynamics became especially visible, or maybe an incident where it was very uncomfortable for you?
um it was like an ongoing journey knowing this experience, like, and made me very angry. It made me super angry. Like, let's to begin. Like, I want to begin with that because I was just like, okay, try to be polite because you want to work in the industry, and women are expected to be polite. Like, I've seen smart women, like extremely smart women. We like in general terms we would say, like, in spaces of like where we had this discussion, like just dumbing yourself down so much so that you can appease a male casting person, or someone at the position of power. It's that is one with gender. uh, is not much trans visibility in these spaces. And then caste, since I belong to a certain caste, I acquired this upper class category, or a performative upper class um, situation here. That's why I could acquire spaces. It's an earned thing, but honestly, it's the Hindi film industry, which I can speak about. It's mostly acquired by upper caste people, and they don't even have the knowledge, or I won't say not the knowledge, but like oblivion
Yeah.
that, oh, this doesn't exist anymore. But you see, like all these actors who are there on screen, most of them are from a certain background, have had a social, political, economic backing. They didn't have to think about any of that, nothing. They are like, they can just focus on building their career in acting or performance. They don't have to think about what will people perceive of me. Casting happens also, which is the truth, which is the reality, from what class you are from. Like, okay, she for example, she is from, say, Shimla, from certain, rural area, so maybe she can do these roles. Oh, she has been brought up in South Bombay, so she has the accent. She can do these roles. That really angered me as an actor, when people give value to building their craft. They try to acquire those tools, to play with those tools, knowing the tools, how to change dialect, how to change accent. Um, and, like, when you are not from the film background, you're not workshopped enough. You need to acquire those spaces, pay for those spaces, or find a mentor that, please educate me, please teach me. Um, and obviously, the networking, the social skills in Bombay, in the Hindi film industry especially, it is acquired by supremely upper caste and upper class people, very oblivious of their privilege, often very oblivious. There are certain lovely people that I have met who know about these things, and yeah, but yeah, it's just very, very upsetting. Uh, but in my work, what I've tried, I mean, I'm continuing to do that, and I hope that there is a space in the future where people can acquire spaces irrespective of what caste, class, or economic background they're coming from, and they can acquire spaces of creativity and performance without, oh, I do not uh, I'm not from South Bombay, or I'm not from Bandra, or I'm not from South Delhi, I'm not from Lajpat Nagar, or just because I feel personally that an actor should be a mold and they should be able to acquire a character without having a backing that, oh, this is my backing and that's all I can do, that's all I can perform. So yeah, and also when I was working as an AD at a very big banner set, it really upset me. I see that uh, junior artists who are not from a certain economic or social background, it really disheartened me because the crew, the production, not just like direction team or production team, there are people like in the crew, there are people from every kind of background, every kind of hierarchy, caste hierarchy, class hierarchy. But the practice of this belief, the caste beliefs, oblivious again, because they don't know, most jobs which are of lower hierarchy are taken by people from certain so-called lower caste or lower class category. And then even people from those classes would differentiate between, like, no, we will give a seat or a better air conditioned room to an class human being because they are, in the production team. Most, I'm not saying like entirely it's upper class, upper caste, but mostly it's upper class, upper caste. And those air conditioned spaces in like really harsh temperatures or like lovely cushioned, vanity vans are acquired by these people. But like, you don't know, like these, like the junior artists did not even have access to the toilet. And that really upset me. And the person who owned the vanity van, like, why would you differentiate with that person? Like, I just don't understand. They would say, no, this was meant for the production team or for the actors. That's a toilet that somebody wants to use and you're not letting them use it. Why? Because, oh, ye ganda karke chale jate hain. Like the hygiene standards remain with the upper caste and upper class people. And that just was very
It's
surprising. I was
baffling to
like, yeah,
hear
that
this.
goes back. Yeah,
So, how
yeah.
difficult is it really to find a mentor, when you are not upper caste, upper class as say?
Um, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. You have to like keep chasing them, and it's more like, okay, don't be too desperate, but be very keen, and finding a balance there, and putting yourself across this person who really wants to learn. Yeah, I think like there are certain people in theater or in the film industry who want people to succeed, who want good people, who want great creativity. They won't flinch from like having a conversation with you. But there are then again certain people who do not want people to have access of information, because access of information is power. you know that's how you can build your career. You can build networks and have access to spaces of learning. But yeah, I would say personally that it's difficult. You have to be very performative. On my Instagram, like, I tell everyone, like, I wish you knew what's happening behind this social media page. You would be like, oh my god. And there have been friends who have come to my place. They're like, oh, but we thought you were this very posh, uh, upper class human being. And they come to my home in Delhi. They're like, oh, and I'm like, don't flinch. Like, there's no need to flinch. And yeah, again, like it feels like so much. There's so much pressure to perform the upper
Oh, yes.
classness of it.
There is this whole pressure to
Yeah,
perform, and I get it, because sometimes, also with my work, sometimes they have this whole notion when they meet you that you are of a certain kind, and obviously, I grew up in an extremely middle class background, and then they kind of can't relate to what they have had a conjured image of you in their head.
yeah,
So, and
yeah,
then, you can see it in their eyes because they're searching for those answers, and
yeah,
it's, and
yeah,
those eyes are not meeting the kind of
yeah,
notion that they've had about them. And I've only begun noticing that now, and it, sometimes I chuckle, and also there's a part of me that also gets very conscious,
Yes,
because
yes,
you don't know whether you're disappointing them, and I think this whole good girl syndrome of not being able to disappoint people is ingrained in us as women.
yeah,
And then you
yes.
just, for me, I often think, oh, have I worn my, I wish I'd worn my eyeliner. I wish my hair was washed. I wish I had lipstick on so that I would
Yeah,
be able to do the tick marks for the image that they have in their head.
yeah,
So for your case,
yeah,
it must be way, way more higher,
yeah.
Tanushree.
It is like I remember in Bombay when I was staying in Bombay. Uh, I it was so sad now that I reflect that I would not go out of my house without putting lipstick because I was like, okay, I can meet like a casting person or a casting director anywhere, and they should not see me in this way. And it's a pressure. It's like a lived pressure. You just live it all the time.
I
That you
agree.
have to present yourself in a certain way. Because I also lived in a place where it was surrounded by like directors, writers, great film artists, and stuff. So I was like, I need to put lipstick on. I need my makeup on. It's a lift pressure, and yeah,
It must be
like
humongous.
with me as well. My Bombay house and my house is in Delhi. I feel like, who am I really? So then there's like a complexity that I live. I'm like, oh, but I live. I'm so glad that my parents have supported me. I earn, and I like with earning. Like obviously, if you're an actor, you have to have like multiple jobs. I freelance in multiple positions to be able to pay the bills. Uh, so my house in Bombay look a certain way, and my house in Delhi looks a certain way. And when I'm in both these places, I'm so confused. I'm like, who am I? But then I fought with it for a very long time, and then I realized, no, these are both me. These are different versions of me in different cities. Me in Delhi is this person, and Tanushree in Bombay is this person, and her house looks like this. This is something that she wanted to make of herself. Therefore, her house looks like this, and this is her lovely home that her parents built for her with hard-earned money and like all the migration that they did from like West Bengal and like
Yes.
giving me the best life, best education. Like they've given me everything. They've literally given me everything. I'm also like kind of adamant, like if I want to do something, I will do it. Maybe it'll take 5 years or 6 years, but yeah.
I hear you so much when you talk about this because, when I go into my parents' home here in Bangalore and I come to my home, and I also can see the difference between both the homes. And that's when, you start thinking, and I've not been able to articulate it excepting for this conversation with you today, Tanushri. So, Tanushri, I have to talk to you about Chumki Ghosh. How was
Mhm.
it? It was based on a real person. And
Yeah.
what is it that you felt after you did Sector 36?
So it's a funny story. When I went for the audition, it was really nice. It's like, okay, when you're going for an audition, you get only an umbrella picture of what you're playing. And then when I got selected, I got logged from this part. I was like, I'm not sure I want to do this. Like, I was just like very scared. Like, what's gonna happen? It's a very small role. Yes, I know it's important, but like, as an actor, you want to perform more. You want to be on screen more, uh, especially as a new actor, because that's how you get roles in the future. So I was like, well, like one time I remember like thanks to Casting Way, they really convinced me, and I was really against it. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It was like a whole, I think like 8 hours of like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and I eventually said, fine, I'll do it. And when I went on the set, I was so glad I did that film. I'm blessed to like I was a very small part of it, but it was so grand. The story was amazing. The actors are amazing. When I saw the film, I was like, oh my God, what am I a part of? Like
So were
this,
you.
why was I saying, yeah, why was I saying no to this? And the character was obviously this girl who's trying to become a big person in the creative industry, but like in ways that she knows best or her family knows best. Um, it was very interesting, like to do that kind of role having a different understanding of a character. I feel like with Chunki and me, the goal is the same, the approaches are different, you know. Um, so I felt very excited, like it was very exciting to play Chunki, and then don't want to give it away for people who haven't watched it, the film yet, but it was an incredible experience. Like working with Aditya sir, the crew, yeah, the passion they bring on set to tell a story and to be very careful and mindful of everything. You know, you have to um, think about many things, not just like the logistics of it, but like what happens after the film comes out, you know. So being very socially responsible about like the portrayal of it. And they were very nice to me, with me. They told me all my shots. They told me, okay, this is what we are going to do, but we are doing it because the story needs it, requires of it, not because of the male gaze, uh, and that was really good. Like someone actually saying that on set, I was like really, really happy. And I was like, okay, I'm working with like really great people and I wish like I can work with them more. It was an incredible experience. Like, yeah. And we shot like the first shoot was in July, the other one was in uh September, I wanna say. So like I had like a 2 month break, and then I was like, okay, I have to play Chunki. How was she again? So just going back and I had some Instagram reels with me that I had shot like just for fun because you wait before you go to set. So like, oh, this is what I was doing, and just like reminding myself, oh, this is how I prepared Chunki. So like bringing it again was like, yeah, it was an incredible experience.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, I couldn't forget your performance, and I'm sure everybody who watched you remembered you, Tanushree. So,
Thank you.
yeah, fantastic. So, there's often an unspoken rule book, for how women in the industry are expected to behave. We just spoke about, right? Soft, agreeable,
Yeah, yeah,
non-confrontational. And I think most men love it when women are non-confrontational.
yes,
So,
yes,
have you had to unlearn or resist any of those expectations in your own journey, in life? I mean, I had to. I had to really learn to be
definitely.
agreeable for very, very long, and it's only now that I'm beginning to assert my place. And I'm constantly thinking of the word assert, whether that's the right word or not, but at least stand in that place with my feet on the ground. And it's
Yeah.
it's it's bloody tough. So tell me about you.
I with the word assert, it reminds me somebody used it just a few days ago, like a week ago. It's like, you're so assertive. I was like, wow, are you saying that? Like, I'm glad if you're saying that. And they were angry with me for certain things, like little things. It's like, yes, I've been trying to be assertive all my life. That has been a battle to actually confront because confrontation makes me, like, I think like the people that I've spoken with, women that I've spoken with who are in the industry, we all feel the same way. Not all of us, again, certain group of people. We feel anxious, or like you don't want to confront. You want to approach it in the best polite manner till you lose your anger. Like, I'm sorry, why is there an expectation of being like, just be kind, just be polite, you are a woman? And I am sick of it. I'm genuinely sick of it. I think there are many instances where I have put my voice across, and people did not appreciate it, and they would not work with me because yeah, I just was very assertive. I called them out like, I don't think this is right. What your practice is incorrect. But it's really disheartening and exhausts me to even think of it. Like my lovely, lovely, great, smart, intellectual, really powerful uh, female friends who would just be very like coy and sweet and, almost subjugated to appease the casting person so they don't feel threatened by a very strong personality who is a woman. And that's disheartening. And then they would get typecasted, अच्छा इसको activism के role में डाल देते हैं because ये तो real life में भी activist है, and she talks about issues and stuff. So now, in order to have a very good relationship with the casting director or like people in powers of position of powers, you're just like, okay, you mentally prepare yourself, like, okay, let me have a conversation with this person. If they're not, like, now it has become for me, if this person is not willing to listen, I could be wrong. I am, I could be wrong. But like having the decency to have, you know, having a conversation with this other person, not because you have put yourself on a pedestal as a cis heterosexual man, and not be patronizing
Oh, yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
what yeah, like that's what I'm looking for.
Especially
And a
with
lot of my,
artists. They're all very,
yes,
very patronizing. They feel
they
very,
say,
yeah, they all give you advice as to how things are going to work out for you. And don't you worry, you're so talented. And I'm like, nobody asked you for that?
yeah, I know I'm talented. I'm here to just like discuss a work project with you.
Yeah.
Can we focus on that? And I would want to do it my way. It's like, what is your way? Like, I brought up this project to you. This is my idea. Let me share it with you. And yeah, just have a discussion, have a conversation. You don't have to constantly feel threatened about like which is unnecessary. I generally feel. I mean, I know it's easier said than done. I know how you can feel anxious and stressed about like proving yourself in the industry, but at the same time, I feel like you know, choosing to chill, choosing to relax has become this. Uh, I think you're powerful if you can do that. That there's a strength in that. There's a strength in listening to other people's views and opinions, and
Yeah.
that's the blend, that's the collaboration, not the collaboration. Hey, would you collaborate with me on this project? Like, where's the essence of what is the fundamental of this collaboration? And I'm like, I would also want to take this opportunity to call out my friends who are like in, like, they're doing very, very well as a writer or maybe director or as a spoken word artist, using feminism or like very loosely using words like feminism. And feminism is very evolving. Just to be very clear, like very clear. In fact, it's very evolving. But using women and their stories as like, oh, glorifying but not understanding in real spaces. The real spaces, then you're like, oh, we have hired you or we are working with you because you're so good looking. I'm like, okay, how is it different from the corporate world? And you're bringing the same stupidity in the creative performance world. How is it different? Please tell me. And then saying that, oh, I'm a feminist or I'm a feminist ally. Like, you don't, we as, like, in fact, as women, me as a not heterosexual, cis women, I feel I also have to learn so much about feminism,
Yeah. Oh, it's so layered. It's
So,
constantly
yeah,
evolving.
it's constantly evolving,
Yeah.
and there is so much that needs to be added, subtracted constantly. Yeah.
So much of
So yeah,
unlearning,
it's
my goodness, it's frightening. I don't
yeah,
think this entire lifetime for me will, be enough for me to unlearn all those things
yeah,
that my ma mainly and my baba expected me to do. And I did that,
yeah,
forever, toe the line, exactly
yeah,
the way they wanted you to do. And school, the way we
yeah.
sat down in school, and how your legs will always have to be crossed together. And
My
so,
goodness, like you don't let women live. Like, just you have to be a certain way. I'm so tired of it. Like, I have been a rebel kid all my life, and my parents just gave up on me, and then they started to accept me as who I am, and I'm grateful to them. But I'm sure, like, they had to go through a lot of
I'm sure my
pain for
parents
that.
too had to go through
Yeah,
a lot for me to, be the person
yeah,
that I am. But then if you don't rebel, you continue to stay where you are, and that's not something that's acceptable to me, and I'm sure not to
yeah,
you too. So, you
yeah.
mentioned the need for women to demand, even if it feels scary. So, can you talk about a moment when you had to push back, ask for what you deserved, or make yourself heard, in a space that wasn't really built for that? Like, I can remember innumerable number of times when I had to demand, and they did not expect me to demand that. So, is there anything that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Yes. I feel in my personal experiences that has just gone down the drain. That's a sad reality. But like I have continued to do it just because I know where I want to be, and I feel maybe it's a wrong strategy, but this is my strategy as of now till I change, maybe till I acquire some other understandings. but I have refused a lot of work because you will not pay me a certain amount, or it doesn't align with my beliefs, socio-political beliefs. And I can say it because I had some economic backing with me in some way or the other. When I was young, I was supported by my parents. I would earn and return it to them. So there was like a system that I had established with my parents. Then I had like freelance jobs. So I was like, if I'm getting a role, I need to be paid a certain amount. But then you get like your market rate is so set until and unless you gain experience, gain a good screen time. And I'm just speaking of screen time in the Hindi film industry. The more screen time you have, the more people you know, the more people know you, the higher your market rate is, right? So, but at the same time, there are certain ads which, like, I don't like. I'm sure this COVID has hit the the economy a lot, and we are all trying to just like uh, recover from it. But I feel there's a limit. If you are earning and if you are advertising your product, you have the resources to do that, but you would never pay the actors. That's really bad. That's just like, and it's not just women, it's for everyone, especially newcomers. It's just wrong. And then, especially with me, yeah, I said no to a good project because I was like, no, it could be silly. That's what people said to me, that, hey, it's actually kind of silly. And I later felt that was silly, that I should have just done it because, I was at least getting a, a kind of experience. But then I am sick of like experience ke naam pe kar le yaar, tujhe experience mil jayega. And even with my friends, I'm like, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. I'm networking, yes. I want to collaborate with you in like on certain projects, but pay me my worth. I don't want to be friends with you. I am done. I have done this for like 5, 6 years when I was new in the industry, but I'm really now sick of it. Give me work, give me my money, give me my worth, and I will just give you the best performance to my ability, and we are all happy. Let people earn, let people have their due. Is that makes me really angry. Just like, like just give people their due. And yes, I've had to face it, and there had been some losses. And it's not just about earning a certain kind of money out of the performance that you're doing, but also like, um, hey, I'm doing so many jobs to be able to cover that loss that I just experienced, you know? Yeah, so that's just sad. Yeah, it's been like a bitter experience, but like it's a learning process at the end
Yeah,
of the
I
day,
guess
and
so. So,
everybody has their
there's
strategy.
always there's a shift that's happening in how the industry really defines, who gets to be seen as a heroine or the protagonist, or do those old standards still dominate in very subtle ways? Tell us about that.
It's very clear, it's not even subtle. I mean, Uh, I mean, I, yeah, when I was just before this, when we were having a conversation about like things that we can talk about, I didn't want to talk about nepotism because I'm like, that's a really used word, but that's a reality in every space. It's not just film industry. If you have wealth, if you have a social,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
capital, you will use it. If you and I'm like my friends sometimes like, oh, I wish I had the wealth. Like, yeah, you're wishing the same things. You're not wishing to have like the craft that could have been like ideally. I wish I had the craft to be there, but like it's the reality that if you have a social backing, you have a social capital, you have a economic capital, financial capital, you get those spaces. You are from the film industry. It's like you see like there would be multiple films that you may have enjoyed or may not have enjoyed that are like the lead roles would be a kid from the film family, the Hindi film industry family, who have been like, m- in some
Molded,
sense, monopolized, monopolized, the
monopolized.
word,
Yeah,
what is it? Yeah, monopolizing the entire system.
yeah.
They would be the leads in the film,
Oh,
but
yeah, 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 for sure.
how the casting works is that their immediate, like the secondary characters, are beautiful, great performers. Else, the film would fail. because you can't just have new people who have not been trained, who or they're like हाँ ये तो हमें मिल जाएगा, ये तो हमें पता है because हम यहाँ इसी इसी बैकग्राउंड या इसी एनवायरनमेंट में पले बड़े हैं, which is a great thing in fact, like having that understanding, that knowledge of how, like, film industry is at the end of the day business, or performance or creativity is business. How you want to uh, use it, what is your approach, is your personal thing, you know. But yeah, it's the leads would always be acquired by, mostly would be acquired by, uh, let's say, okay, fine, Nepo kids. But I don't blame them again. I genuinely don't blame them. I'm like, if you don't perform well, you would not continue to exist in this.
Absolutely.
Nobody's that kind. Nobody's that kind. And I have friends, uh, thanks to my, like the built social capital that I've had. I have friends who are from film backgrounds, but they would not get work in their, in their, banners or anything, because of many reasons. You don't even know what are the reasons. Why would they not take me? They know me, they should take me, they should hire me for this role. But like, there's a lot of chase, there's a lot of chase there's a lot of convincing that one goes through. Yes, they have a backing already, which newcomers or people from the non-Hindi
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
family do not have. They have that. You can't take away that fact. They do have it, they have everything. But at the end of the day, who exists in the industry is the one who persists, who determines that no matter what happens, I will be here. That it takes a lot of determination to be here.
Yeah.
um, I was listening to your podcast just a few days ago. I'm forgetting the name, I'm really sorry, but they mentioned that they left Bombay
Yes.
and it was their
Amrita Dongre.
decision. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was like, that's fair, that's so fair. You're, because people just make this career their life, that if I don't succeed in this career, I am a loser, I am a failure. I'm like, that's not true. You need to break that bubble for yourself, else you will just be in turmoil, and
Yeah,
your mental health would just keep deteriorating, and you're not supported in any way. This is, you can continue to do the same work that you want to do, but in supported spaces, and it's absolutely fine to do things in supported spaces if you
absolutely.
have the privilege.
Yeah. If you have the
Yeah,
privilege, for sure. And that's
yeah,
where the whole economics of art, is
yeah,
the greatest struggle, I think, for everyone. And so, the
yeah.
comparison game is real. So, how do you handle being measured against, serious careers like law or MBA, and push back against those value systems?
uh, I'm very blessed in that matter. My parents, my mom is from a very performance background.
Okay.
She sings, and looking at me, she's like, you know what? I want to go back to singing. She supported me. She did not support my sister. I have to say, my sister was a pet project, and she's amazing. She's a great artist. Um, yeah, her Instagram page is Tickle Tales, and she's trying to blend art with social political issues, and like just bringing out stories in the form of like art or like culture. And she's doing great work, and she's still exploring. With me, I was just like, you can't say no to me. I will do the things that I want to do. But I wanted to be educated. I wanted to have an understanding. I wanted to travel. So when I was in college, I traveled a lot against my parents' wishes. I was like, no, you can't. I'm sorry. I was that typical rebel child, but I think, touchwood, I was a rebel child in a good way. That I just traveled and
We need
worked
to
with
ask your
NGOs
parents
and
for
worked with
that.
like community. Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna ask you. I will not ask you. But I think a lot of brunt of that, like, just like permission, my sister had already taken for me. So I was the lucky one. So I was like, I'm gonna do the things that I want to do.
Because in many homes, they don't think this is just a hobby. Gan shike
Yeah.
now, naach shike now, theater shike now, but that's
But
just a
if
hobby.
yeah, in Bengali culture, it's like, oh, you must learn something outside of
Yeah.
like, just academics, but you can't pursue that.
Yeah.
Or maybe if your parents are really supportive, or you've been brought up in that culture, then you can, because you have the knowledge already. So then you can do, go ahead. But with me, I was very sure of what I wanted to do from like since I was a child. And I was like, maybe I will never get it because uh, when I had this dream, I was like, कि कैसे कर पाऊंगी मैं? I have no knowledge. My parents are very regular, normal people who just watch, TV serials and they enjoy it and they go back to sleep, have dinner, and and like I want to be there. How do I go there? How do I get there? So that took a lot of research, and with my parents, something that I'm really grateful for is that they had a strong belief over me that she's very adamant no matter what she will do it. So we don't know whatever she's asking for. Let's just
Agree.
support her in certain ways. They were because disagreement का तो कोई option ही नहीं है. With
मेरे
my
साथ भी
parents,
वही
with me,
था.
there's no yeah. It's like you can't. कोटे पा देना. Like you have to agree with me. I'm trying my best, and they wanted the best education for me. So I went to the best workshops, training workshops, and this and that, and I knew what I wanted to do. um, I did have a backup that if this doesn't work, I need to fund my bills, because I don't know why, I had the knowledge that acting will not pay my bills for a very long period of time. It will take some time. So I should have a backing. What is the second best interest that I have? That was in the development sector, working with people, working with community, understanding, like working with children and women was something that I was really passionate about. I am passionate about. So I was like, okay, if I have that knowledge, I can bring that even in my work. So it's not like getting wasted or anything. That is that is my treasure. So I did study philosophy from Miranda House, and then I went to do my master's from Azim Premji University. So I enjoyed my education. But like even when I was doing my master's, most of my work was like stitched to performance and theater, and I was glad to have mentors there who would let me be that. Okay, this is how you want to do your dissertation. Do it like that, So yeah, and it was fun. Therefore, like it was not a pressure that, oh my God, you have to write like 2,500 words or 3,500 words. Mine was more like, this is what I have done. This is my research. This is what I found out. A lot of failures in that experience. I worked. My project was theater with widows of Vrindavan, and I
Yes.
thought I would just this metropolitan mindset that I had, like, oh, activist and this and that. I will make them do things. You go there, you are in the reality, and you're just like, one good slap you get, that, oh, this is not how it is. And I was disheartened, obviously, but I was absolutely happy to fail. It's like, okay, I broke my own notion. I needed this learning that, you can't have things in the way that you think you will have. It will be different. Maybe you will not have it, but it would be a great learning experience. It was a great learning
Tell
experience.
me more
And
about it.
like I,
Tell me about your Vrindavan research.
so basically, I was working with widows there in an ashram, and I thought, like, I would utilize theater to understand their, belief systems and their belief systems about sexuality. What am I doing? Like, they are old people. Sexuality, they don't care about it. They have given up on their, life in sense ki we want to be religious people. Don't challenge us. I'm like, yeah, I'm here. Like, it felt like, oh, I'm here to challenge them in some sense. That's what I learned. Like, okay, I'm questioning them. This, what, how I was approaching it was not a sense of curiosity, but a sense of like, why can't you do it? You're old, but like you have a life. Why would you come here and be religious? I was doing the same thing that other people expect of women. That uh, be bold, be this, be that. And it's just like so much of being without asking who they want to do, who they want to be, or what do they want to do. I came with my project and was like, let's do this. They were really lovely. They engaged with my workshops and everything. But at the end of the day, I was like, oh my God, I'm so wrong. I am so wrong. Uh, this is not what they want. This is not what they need. I am doing as a research out of my curiosity. I can't project my curiosity on them. They cannot be my subjects. They are human beings. And I can be with them, have their understanding, incorporate their understanding in my research, rather than, oh, this is my title, this is my topic, and I want you to fit into this topic. It like it was what I thought would be the outcome was completely different when I actually went there and had my experiences. I understood, let women be, just let them be. You you know like that's something that I also brought back home, because like with my mom, I'm just like, why don't you wear jeans? Why don't you wear like this cloth? Forget what dad says, forget what society says. And she's like, but I don't want to do it. I am comfortable in wearing the clothes that I want to wear. I am happy doing religious stuffs. I am happy being spiritual. I like doing these things. And I was like, yeah, just don't trust your ideas upon women, or like just not women, like any gender uh, per se, like because you have this curiosity. It has to be more collaboration. It has to be engagement rather than I know better. I know these things because I've studied in this in my master's degree, and you have to help me whether this is correct or incorrect.
I
Yeah,
hate the
that
word
was the
strong.
emotional.
I keep getting it,
Yeah,
Tanushree. Oh my God, you're a strong woman. Come on, be resilient. I mean,
yeah,
hello, I don't want to be resilient. I want to be soft,
yeah,
Don't force this on
yes,
me. And
yeah, and yeah. I feel like with softness, people think that it's a symbolism of being weak.
yeah,
I'm like, please. I'm just like, you know, if you want to achieve anything, you can achieve it by being just yourself. You don't have to change it
yeah,
like completely to acquire the things that you want to. But at the same time, it's a I think it's a very subjective term again, like because I see like women on sets who have like a good position, like powerful position. I see violence with their attitude. It's like, I'm like, why is it like so masculine? What's happening? Like, um, and maybe they are like that, but like accepting the violent way of getting things is so sad. But that also actually in reality works. Like in India, I would say, like at least in the spaces that I have been, if you're if you're kind, if you're
yeah.
soft and polite,
You're
you
screwed.
don't get it. And then being the person, I just lose my mind. I was like, yeah. And then now, if you're angry, they're like, "Arey, you're being hysterical.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Are
yeah.
you being? You've lost your mind." And like, basically, you do whatever, you will be questioned. Is there anywhere where I can just be, and I don't have to be like one category or one emotion or
Yeah,
one feeling?
yeah, 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 yeah. Because there are dimensions and more dimensions
Yeah,
to each of us. And, we need to dance
yeah,
and move through all of those. So, let's talk about
yeah.
looking ahead. I mean, you worked and trained across geographies, right? So, what are you bringing back with you, not just in terms of skill, but mindset and values?
Um, just that's something that I really, really enjoy in my training is people actually looking out for each other. It's debatable, but like there is a sense of it. There is willingness to have an understanding about other cultures, about different processes. Something I've really enjoyed here is professionalism, the value of time, the value of paying people for their work, and not like, okay, because what I have experienced back at home is that you don't get paid on time. You just have to keep chasing them. Sometimes it takes like 2 years, 3 years, and then you give up. That I might as well like utilize this time to do some other work. But like the there's a lot of value in being professional here. They take it very seriously, which I was not prepared for, honestly. But when I came, there had to be a lot of unlearning. My process is very different, you know. The theater spaces that I have acquired in India, or like how I've approached like the set and everything. It's very like abhi karo or abhi chale jao, and like rest of the homework you do, but you work with some, like if you're working with a co-actor just before the shot. That has been my process, or like people that I have worked with, okay, we just like rehearse our lines. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. This is what you're thinking. But a lot of the amazing thing is a lot of value in workshop, a lot of value in devising the scene, how it will go, what is working, what is not working, is something that I absolutely enjoy. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. Can we just like have this in India? Having said that, I value a lot of things in India. I miss home, and I've learned a lot um, about like how Indian I am, and I love
Yeah,
being
yeah.
an
You
Indian.
only
The values, the
learn
food.
about yourself
Yeah,
when you're out of the space. And
yeah,
I completely
yeah,
agree with you
yeah,
on that.
yeah,
Yes. So,
yeah.
if you could just build a support system for artists, what would it look like? What kind of an ecosystem do you believe that artists truly deserve? And I struggle with that so much.
I mean, yeah, yeah, they deserve like to start with. Like, you know what? I feel people should have a choice. Whether you want to continue to do it, whether you do not want to continue to do it, whether you want to be sparsely available in those spaces, you should have a choice. Uh, what the ecosystem in my utopian idea would be like, everyone supporting each other,
Yeah.
everyone giving an opportunity, and sometimes opportunity is not given. Opportunity is chased, and that's the reality. If you can't do that, create opportunities. Don't wait for it, because I feel like a lot of artists wait for someone to give you the opportunity. You can create art anywhere. I know, I mean, I'm saying it in a very like this language that, oh, karte hain, ho jayega. And I know it's very difficult because you're struggling with so many disappointments, so many failures already. And then to motivate yourself and encourage yourself to create that opportunity yourself, it requires a lot of persistence. It requires a lot of determination to go against your own mental health at
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
sometimes,
Absolutely.
that I am, yeah, like creating, I have absolute respect for content creators. They get up every day, they do it every day, they have a plan every day, they do it every day, the kind of discipline they follow. I know people hate content creators
Why do you
for
think they
XYZ
hate
reasons,
them?
but in my in my spaces, they're like, oh, the content creators are getting jobs and they don't even know how to act. I'm like, this let's understand business in India. If you have more followers, you will get work, and they are doing it that way. That's their strategy. And it's not like every content creator does not workshop as an actor. Their willingness, I'm talking about only those content creators who want to be in those acting spaces or performative spaces. Uh, that's their strategy. What is your strategy? You can't. Oh my God, there have been many conversations in many living rooms where, like, oh, she got that role. Oh, she got, she doesn't even deserve it. She's an influencer. She's a content creator. But we are here. What are you doing? You're wasting your time here to talk bad about someone you don't even know, and you're angry that you didn't get the role. They did something to get that role. Whatever they did something. And here you are talking about these people you don't know of. You could utilize this time to chill, to relax, you know, because I feel like I'm forgetting the term, but like, I think it's also political to just like relax, like just
It is
relax.
political for women to relax for
It
sure,
is just,
Tanushree.
yeah, like,
You're not supposed to
and
relax.
yeah, you just need to keep thinking about
You
like,
need to keep
what
working.
is not happening in my life? It's like, you know what? You would be a great feminist, and all these people that I'm mostly talking about, most of them identify as feminists. And like, if you're a feminist, take care of yourself, protect yourself from those things. Just here we are, just talk about anything else, but not the industry, because that's what our life is already. Can we talk about other things that would add value to this conversation? That this conversation uh, that may just be a tool for you to take back home and utilize in the character that you're auditioning for, things like that. I don't find value in like hating on people. I just don't find value in that. It's like, that's a waste of time, my energy. Yes, it feels bad that I was there as well. It feels bad that I don't have the social backing sometimes. But with content creators and influencers who are coming from nowhere, trying to build their life and have built their life, I'm like, I respect you. You waking up every day trying to find something, it's a lot of pressure. To entertain someone through Instagram, it's a lot of pressure. They don't have a break. I know, as a matter of fact, they just don't have a break. They have to, if you are, it's like being present all the time, being seen all the time, else you would lose a job, So like getting up and putting yourself on Instagram or like any social media website that, hey, I exist and I'm gonna here entertain you. They take the responsibility, which you get entertained for free as well. So give them that credit. Like, come on, like stop hating on influencers and content creators. Yeah. Again, that's subjective, but just be kind. Just bring kindness home. It's not about like, I think like people talk about everything outside their spaces, but when it comes to like bringing kindness home, that's like, nahi, no. Like, then you need to reflect
मैं
on
सिर्फ
yourself.
बोलूंगी काइंडनेस के बारे पर लेके
Yeah,
आना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है
yeah. In action, like, कहाँ है
एक्शन में
तुम्हारा
करना
kindness?
मुश्किल है
Yeah.
absolutely oh I meet tons and tons of such people thank you so much Tanushree for being on today's podcast and it really was an honor to have you like I said that this is really a fan moment for me I completely fell in love with the work that you do
You
and
know what? That,
yeah
yeah.
seriously and I hope to see more great work and I know that you are going to scorch the scene and
Thank you so much.
you
It
will
means a lot.
yeah
It gives me encouragement. Thank you so much.
yeah
Yes.
so thank you so much